Good afternoon, all. CamelbackTrading.org coming to you this Wednesday afternoon, September 13th. We're looking at window traders market profile of the ES and the NQ. So nothing changed today. CPI came out, they pushed it lower. We got down to that level in B period, but that's it. Buyers tried. We actually tried to go trend up, failed. I had a horrible trade later in the day. We'll go over that. Missed a bunch of trades up here and had a horrible trade later. Market kind of proved that I wasn't wrong, but I was wrong to hold on to it at that time. We'll go over it. Gave back the whole week and more. Righty doesn't take out the IB until K period. Then they go trend, but then they fill that. So righty goes out 9 wide with an afternoon rally high in G. They are down on the daily now. Okay, righty came out of a 4-day balance to the downside. So that's the only time frame out of the 9 time frames, monthly, weekly, daily, out of our 3 indices that are down. Everything else is still balanced. NQ goes out with nothing. They have the day's high, the day's low. They end only 8 wide. We end 10 wide, up at I's low, and that's it. We got close to taking out both sides of the IB, but we didn't. I thought maybe CPI would take us out of this balance, but it didn't. We're on a 6-day balance now. We have PPI tomorrow. Again, the ALGOs will react, but it shouldn't have that much an effect because CPI, already came out, so I don't think it would be that far off, but who knows. We do have ex-dividend tomorrow night for SPY. That's going to be about $1.63 or so. And then we have expiration on Friday. The worry for the bulls is here's the top of the balance, right? We have a weak high against the top of the balance these 2 days. Yesterday got close. Today didn't get as close. So the question now is, have the bulls had their chance at the balance high? And now will sellers maybe try to get their shot at the balance low? We'll see. But the bottom line is there's no excuse for me to do what I did on these type of days. So I said you have to respect. I said if you don't go trend, the market's going to go the other way. And I respected that big time early in the day, and I was having a good day. I had a very good day in NQ because I respected that. A period, I took a long in NQ when it started pushing up. Once it got, remember they had single prints from yesterday. Once they took the trend day back, took a long to go get the overnight high and bang that out for 20 points. I made 5 points in ES on ebb and flow longs. On any pullback, I was making some money on longs. Then in B period, when NQ looked like she was going to go and break A's low, did that trade for a short for another 20 points in NQ. And then on the flip side in NQ, when they came up in C period, I'm like, I didn't take it to stop the one-time framing down, but as soon as they took out B's high, I'm like, they're going to pop this top, took a long for another 28 points. So I had a fantastic morning. I was up 5 points in ES, 68 in NQ. I then took a short in NQ at H's high against yesterday's afternoon rally high for 7 points. So I was sitting very nicely with 75 points in NQ and 6 in ES. Now, I was telling the room a couple of things. I said, first off, traders are going to do its work till it doesn't work anymore. What worked? Fading either right around the new highs or a new high. Right? We couldn't get anything. I thought we might push up to where a change attempted to take place yesterday above A's high. We didn't get there. So fading any new high worked. I didn't do it once. I did it in H in NQ. Didn't do it in ES. That's number one. Okay? Missed that. That was like we were talking in the room. That happened this day. Kept making new highs, but kept getting nothing. Kept rolling over. Yes, we probed an M. But before that, kept rolling over. So that's one thing that I continually missed, which I shouldn't have. Now, I did tell the room, if it pulls back, I'm looking for an afternoon pullback. Even though value's unchanged, the indices are kind of flat, I'm like, we raised TPO. Volume pot looked like it might get raised. SPY actually raised theirs at one point up to here, but then it pulled back again. Now, I said a couple of things. I'm looking to start along around 20. Well, it got down in J period initially to like 21 and then went back up. And it got above the 144. So I'm like, you know what, I'm going to buy one at 26 just to try to get a couple of points out of that, because maybe that's the afternoon pullback. Well, that turned out to be wrong. Came in, kept coming in, back to 24, 24 and a half. I should have known that 26 kind was wrong. Get out. Now, I did tell the room I'm looking to buy 20. I'm looking to buy 18, which at the time was, well, see, everything changed here. I was looking to buy 18, which was around value low at the time. So I said 20, 18, and then I said 16, which is right above the opening. Okay? Now, I had said that, I didn't say that in J or K. I was saying that in G, H, and I when they weren't getting much. I said, I'm looking for that kind of pullback. I did tell the room if it gets later in the day and does it, I got to be a little more cautious. So that's number one, red flag. Number two, I thought we would absolutely have more stops and fireworks above these. We had 4 poor highs. Now, when the room said, well, do you think we'll have stops? I said, yeah, I do. I said, maybe they're at A's high, maybe because they've done so well, all these time frames, they'll stretch it a little bit. Well, we never found out. But I can tell you one thing, we had crickets above the day's high. That's red flag number 2. And then red flag number 3 is it's, you know, again, it's happening later in the day, and once we get below the opening, my stop should have been below the opening. So what happened? I'm long at 26. I bought 1 at 21. I bought 3 at 18 and a half, and I bought 4 at 16. All I was looking for was a responsive bounce back to around D's low of 22. No way did I care about the day's high. No way did I care if we went back to POC. I thought we might even lower POC, and I'm like, that's fine. Well, I sold 1 at 17 when it went up initially, and then the bottom fell out. Now, should have took my loss, should have gotten out around 14. I didn't. Okay? That should have been my out. It would have lost money, but it would not have been nearly as bad. Instead, I kept watching it go down, went down some more. I will not get bigger than 10 in ES at any point. So I still had only the 9 at that time. I was getting hurt. And then finally, when L started making a new low, I'm like, well, you know, it looked like there was good odds of possibly getting both IBs. Now, I took it off not far off the low. Took it off at 7. The low is 0575. Did the market prove that I was kind of right? Yeah. Does that mean anything? Of course not. It means dick. It means absolutely nothing. It means I was a fool for not getting out of that long below the opening. Because if I got out of that long below the opening, I could have taken it again if I thought once M period got above L's high. So instead of losing 103 points, which I did in ES, I would have been down a lot less, and I could have taken that trade again if I wanted to, and maybe made them back, or some of them back, whatever I would have been down at that point. So, you know, the silver lining is, since I've been trading futures, I've not taken big hits as much as I did with the options. Okay, $5,000, or it was over $5,000, not by a lot. But again, I made money in the NQ. So for the week, even with that mess, I'm down 94 ES, but I'm up 178 NQ. So I'm only down about $1,200, $1,300 for the week. So it's not you know, financially devastating, but it destroys your mental capability. You know, so that's the silver lining, that the money isn't that bad. Is it a silver lining that the market kind of showed I was right? Not really, because like I said, the trade was wrong once we got below the opening. I was very cognizant of the fact of how much short-term traders can stretch a market here, can stretch a market here. But I let that go out the window here. And guess what? They made me pay for it. I paid for it. Right? It doesn't matter if I think we should hold value low in the opening and go back to D's low. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter that we almost did that. It matters that you get out of the trade and either reassess or start again sometime if it comes back. So anyway, again, it's a tough lesson. But again, fortunately, it's probably my biggest one in the futures. So hopefully I learned from that. As far as destinations go, especially in balance, we've been saying in balance this market's going to do that. So all I can do is shake my head at myself. But I will tell you this, and you can ask anybody in my trading room, I was churning inside, but I was telling the room, first of all, I told the room why I was buying it. I also told the room I was dead wrong below the opening to be holding it. Okay? It's not for people to follow my trades. All right? That's you do that at your own risk. You should not do that. But I'm explaining to the room why I was looking for that trade. And I also explained to the room that I was just being a stubborn idiot when it got below the opening. But I kept my cool, calm. There was no cursing, anything. And, that's how you have to conduct yourself in a trading room, even though I wanted to scream at a mountaintop and put my fist through the screen. So, hopefully, if you're not in my trading room and you're in another trading room, your moderator acts like that. If not, I wouldn't stay in there. Anyway, 447.13 is 10 wide on the upside. 447.71 is today's high. 445.08 is today's low in SPY. ES03 is our low, and then to me it's the rollover gap filling it at 44.77.50. For the upside, today's 10 wide is 24.25, and today's high is 39, which by the way, it's another thing I failed to mention. We have another poor high. Oh, no, we don't. I'm losing my mind. Why did I write? Did I write today's high in? I'm sorry. You're going to have to bear with me. No, I never wrote today's high. I'm looking. We had poor highs all day. Today's high, so 24.25 is 10 wide. I apologize. I told you my head, your mental reserve. Today's high is 30.25. I never wrote it down. We were poor all day until we popped that. And we're still poor up here. So 30.25 is the high for today. Now, on the charts, what's changed? Nothing. So to lose that kind of money in balance is another real gut punch. Okay? Seeing it go back up above 19 is a gut punch, and then saying to yourself, wow, you just lost 94 points today in total in ES in a balanced day. That's inexcusable. Inside week last week, inside week 3 days this week. So the water is boiling. I thought today's CPI would at least get us out of the balance on the daily, if not the inside week. Well, it didn't. So it's a 6-day balance. Nothing's been resolved yet. Right? We closed below the 50 today, but again, we've been going back and forth through it, so I'm not taking that as anything to be back and forth through the 50 and or the 20. Righty, on the other hand, or IWM, look at this. They closed right below the 200. We were talking about this earlier in the room today. Is righty the canary in the coal mine? Is that possible? I guess it could be. We'll see. If righty takes out these two daily lows, that's definitely some kind of concern if that was to happen. But for now, they're down on the daily, but everything else is balanced for all our indices. I hope you had a good day trading. Thanks for the likes and subscribing. Hopefully you learned something from this video and avoid a mistake like that I made. Enjoy your evening, and we'll speak prior to the opening tomorrow.